Welcome to Ramzan Biology Lectures. Please subscribe and also press the bell icon to receive updates of my lecture.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Ramzan Biology, and in this lecture we will talk about the anaerobic respiration. Actually, we have been talking about cellular respiration, and in the previous series of lecture we studied about the aerobic respiration, in which we completed the aerobic respiration with its steps. Now we will talk about the anaerobic respiration and its tips. So anaerobic respiration is a type of cellular respiration in which occur in absence of oxygen and mitochondria. So a cell which do not have oxygen, do not have the presence of oxygen and mitochondria, the cell will undergoes the anaerobic respiration. And here the point is very important, that for some instance the mitochondria is ignored from this definition of the anaerobic respiration, because in bacteria there is no mitochondria, but there is oxygen, and still the bacteria undergoes the aerobic respiration, and the wall and the cell membrane present the folded palm, the bacteria undergoes the aerobic respiration in the folded cell membrane. So therefore mitochondria is for some instance ignored, and therefore we will generally say that the cell which do not have, or the respiration which do not have O2, this is called anaerobic respiration, and the respiration in which O2 is involved, that is called aerobic respiration. Okay. After glycolysis, when there is no oxygen and mitochondria present in the cell, then the cell will undergo fermentation. As we mentioned in the previous lecture, that whether the cell undergoes aerobic or anaerobic respiration, the first step of these cells will be the glycolysis. So after the glycolysis, the cell have the presence of oxygen, then the cell will undergoes the aerobic respiration. But if the cell do not have the oxygen, therefore the cell will undergoes the anaerobic respiration. And the anaerobic respiration is called a fermentation. And fermentation is the chemical breakdown of glucose. It is the breakdown of glucose by chemical way. Okay. And there are two types of fermentation. The first one is the lactic acid fermentation. Lactic acid fermentation occur in animals like human beings and bacteria. So in human being, where it is occur mainly in the human being, the lactic acid fermentation mainly occur in the red blood cells. Okay. In the red blood cell, the anaerobic respiration occur, because in the red blood cell there is a lot of oxygen. But in the red blood cell there is no mitochondria. So therefore, due to the presence of a huge amount of oxygen, the red blood cell still does not undergoes the aerobic respiration due to the lack of mitochondria. And the muscle cell in the human being undergoes the anaerobic respiration, because the muscle cell have mitochondria also and oxygen also. But in situation when our muscle activities increase, the time our oxygen level and our muscle cell become decrease. So therefore oxygen is not reaching these cells very quickly, and the ATP is used very quickly in these cells, because the activities in huge amount, very increased. So therefore in this situation our muscle cell will undergoes the anaerobic respiration, the lactic acid fermentation, in which the energy will be released, but the O2 will not be required that time. And this lactic acid fermentation cannot occur in our muscle cell for a lot of time, because in this fermentation the lactic acid is produced as byproduct, and lactic acid is very harsh, and therefore when our muscle activities become increased, that time we feel thirstiness and we feel some type of hurt in our muscle cell. That is why, because in these muscle cell the lactic acid is produced as byproduct, and it gives us harassment that time. Okay. And it is also occur in the bacteria. The bacteria used the Malik, the bacteria use the protein of the milk and then undergoes the lactic acid fermentation and give us yogurt. So now we'll study then how yogurt is formed, and it yield only 2 ATP. So the energy in the anaerobic respiration and lactic acid fermentation is very less because there are 2 ATP, but still it is enough for the bacteria. Okay, how it occur? First of all, glucose are converted into two pyruvate molecule. This step is known as the glycolysis. In this step, two ATP are released as byproduct. Then the pyruvate, just like we say in the aerobic respiration, pyruvate will undergo the length reaction, then enter into the Krebs cycle, and then enter into the electron transportation. You can watch these all lectures. And but there the cell do not have the O2 frequency and mitochondria. Therefore, the 2-pyruvate will undergoes through several processes and will last give us lactate. Lactate is a type of acid. It's called lactic acid. Okay, and then lactate moves through the blood into liver. Lactate will move through the blood into liver, and then liver will again convert into pyruvate, and then if the cell have the O2 frequency other cells and mitochondria, then the lactate converted into 2-pyruvate will undergoes the aerobic respiration. Now what occur? That the bacteria use the protein or the glucose of the milk and then convert these into the pyruvate and the stroma, that in the cytoplasm of the bacteria, and then that after 2-pyruvate it convert into lactate, and lactate are then a form of yogurt. Okay, so this was the lactic acid fermentation. That there the last product is the lactate. Now we talk about the alcoholic fermentation, the next fermentation. And alcoholic fermentation mainly occur in yeast, which is a type of fungi. In this fermentation, what occur? That glucose is converted into 2-pyruvate. As you mentioned, it is called glycolysis, and here 2 ATP are released. And after this, 2-pyruvate are converted. Of course, there are 2-pyruvate. Okay, 2-pyruvate. Then 2-pyruvate. So from here, the process a little changes. From lactic acid fermentation, that here 2-pyruvate are then converted into acetaldehyde, and here during this process CO2 is released, and CO2 help to rise bread. So this phenomena is used in the bread. That bread makes a dump-like structure due to the converting of pyruvate into acetaldehyde, and during this process CO2 is released as byproduct, which give the bread is a dump-like structure, rise the bread, and this is consists of the some spells of the CO2. Okay, then the acetaldehyde is converted into ethanol, and ethanol is a type of alcohol, and mainly this whole process alcoholic fermentation is used in the production of wine. Wine is produced during this process, and last product is the ethanol, and the fungi produce a lot of ethanol, and the number of ethanol increase, that the fungi itself died. Okay, so when fungi are died, so the fungi is then degraded and then give us the pure ethanol, which is then a type of wine. Now we'll talk about this, why these two pyruvate are converted into lactate. Why this convert into lactate? So we'll study about this. Now we'll talk about this, how why glucose are converted into the lactate. So first of all, glucose are converted into 2-pyruvate, and this process is known as the glycolysis, and then 2-pyruvate are converted into 2-lactate, and is known as the NAD regeneration. Why? Let's start. First of all, when glucose is converted into 2-pyruvate, so here 2 ADP are converted into 2 ATP as byproduct of the energy currency. Okay, then during this time 2 NAD are also converted into 2 NADH, and this is used for the oxidizing of the glucose, and when glucose undergoes the oxidation process, so it releases one hydrogen, and when one hydrogen is released, so NAD capture that hydrogen and it reduced to the NADH. So therefore so more NAD needed to continue glycolysis. So therefore by the oxidation of glucose, we need a lot of 2NAD to capture that hydrogen. Now, from where this 2NAD will come? So let's start. Then 2-pyruvate will convert into 2-lactate, and during this process, the 2NAD, NADH formate here in the glycolysis process, it will convert, it will oxidize and release the hydrogen, and it will convert into NAD, and then this NAD will reuse in the glycolysis process. This will come again here, and again will glucose use this NAD to convert into NADH, and then will again used in here. The cyclic pathway is going on. So therefore why glucose are converted into lactate? Because the NAD is needed for the continuing of the glycolysis process. So this NAD is formed in the lactate, and then lactate give the NAD to the glycolysis, and the glycolysis again give the reduced power NADH to the lactate, and then this cyclic pathway is going on, and therefore this is called NAD regeneration, meaning that here the NAD are again produce in this give again to the glycolysis. So this was about the anaerobic respiration, that how it cell undergoes the anaerobic respiration, and we talk about the alcoholic and lactic acid fermentation. So I hope this lecture will be helpful to you, and if you have any doubt, any question in this, so you can mention in the comment, and please subscribe, and also press the bell icon to receive update of my lectures. And you can also watch the link of my previous aerobic respiration lectures in my YouTube channel description, and also in the comment box.